It's official, NATLAN is finally the next destination in Genshin Impact, and these are the top 5 new features coming with the 5.0 update. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. So, starting with the newest region, NATLAN, there's a total of 6 tribes that exist in this region, or at least that's how many we know there are, and the first 3 will be introduced now. So, if you haven't seen already, NATLAN is known for Saurians, these creatures that are basically Pokemon, but each one of these creatures are befriended by a different tribe. For example, there's a mining tribe that utilizes Tepet Lizoris, who can burrow underground and even parkour on surfaces. Or another tribe known for being more or less a surfer dude culture promoter. Their Saurian can be used to traverse water and lava, while the third tribe, known for being monster hunters and couriers, they have this Saurian which you can use to shoot out grappling hooks and navigate mid-air. Now, to put it simply, the basic explanation of how we get to control these Saurian creatures is, possession. At least that's what the devs said during the livestream. So yeah, a brand new open world movement is coming with NATLAN, although I wasn't able to find out if these creatures can be used outside of this region. Still, there's a ton of story quests coming with 5.0. The first 2 Archon acts will be available. Here, we will meet a lot of different characters, including Pyro Archon and the strongest Fatui member, the Captain. On top of that, a lot of the action will take place in the Stadium of Sacred Flame, because in addition to being the nation of Pokemon, it's also a nation of battling. So this place is used to determine strongest warriors. Now, if you do the story quest, you'll receive Kachina for free, which is nice. And then there's also going to be Mualani's personal story quest. However, probably the biggest change coming with questing will be the new Tribal Chronicles system, which you can access from the Reputation system, and each Tribal Chronicle will advance the story for each corresponding tribe. Finally, loads of cute monsters and creatures inhabit this new land, as you can see here, but when it comes to new enemies, a couple of world bosses were showcased. We've got this fat mountain king, who looks pretty cute and hilarious, a deadly combo. And then there's also this cool looking red dragon called Gold Flame. And yeah, one more thing, our journey will be accompanied by this really cute Saurian, and interestingly enough, we won't be able to resonate with Pyro elements immediately, so no Pyro Traveler unless we deal with some kind of a problem in NATLAN first. So, this time around, not much has been said about the events. There was some kind of a corporate meeting they've recorded and showcased one of the events, but basically, all of the info was just thrown at us with this single image. We can see most of the rewards will be the usual stuff, including crowns, but in addition, they did mention we're getting a new limited 4-star catalyst from the main event. However, this doesn't mean we're not getting a bunch of rewards. In fact, some pretty crazy changes, starting with the biggest one. We're finally getting a 5-star selector during the game's anniversary. And on top of that, this selector will be given away each anniversary, which is amazing. So yeah, it only took Genshin almost 4 years to finally give us a free 5-star. Additionally, during the 4th anniversary, we can log in to claim 10 Intertwined Fates, plus 1,600 Primo Gems, and a bunch more rewards will be sent to us through in-game mail. Then, anytime we complete an Archon quest in the NATLAN region, we get to claim 500 Primo Gems. And for those of you who are thinking of coming back, the Stellar Reunion event now provides 10 Intertwined Fates, which is nice. And then the Battle Pass is getting reworked. It will have better selection, so you can choose, for example, to gain a lot more instead of other material. And on top of that, you'll be able to select any region talent materials. Okay, another big change we're getting, sometimes an event called Capturing Radiance will occur when you're about to lose your 50-50. Not many details were shared, but basically the developers are telling us we might not lose all of our 50-50s going forward with the 5.0 update. In addition, the Cursed Weapon banner is also getting buffed. Now you only need 1 fate point to guarantee the featured weapon you've selected. And then the next iteration of Imaginarium Theater will have a lot more beneficial wondrous boons. So it will be easier to beat this mode, but also a new Visionary mode will be available. Basically a new difficulty mode, which from what I understand, requires even more characters to be used. Oh, and let's not forget the 12 people who are still playing Genius Invocation TCG. New cards, new card packs, and other goodies coming with 5.0. Finally, like every other anniversary, the top-up bonus will be reset. However, I don't want to be that guy who keeps repeating the same thing, but please spend responsibly. I'm gonna be honest, these new 5.0 characters have some of the coolest and unique abilities. I mean, just look at Mualani. She's a 5-star Hydro Catalyst, and when she uses her skill, she can start surfing on her Sharky surfboard, and that includes riding above the water. But it's not just for mobility, she can actually attack with it, and if she marks the enemies when she touches them, the damage will be even bigger and better. Now her burst is pretty simple. It delivers this cute AoE attack, but she also has an interesting passive talent, which will summon these cute puffers who will run towards her, and when collected, will extend the duration of Sharky. Then there's Kinich, a 5-star Dendro Claymore unit, and I have no idea what's the deal with this guy, because he seems to be wielding the power of retro pixels. Can't complain though, because these goofy animations are just too good. Now, when it comes to his skill, it's very interesting to say the least. Basically, he has a grappling hook that you can use for open world exploration, but if used in combat, he can hook onto an enemy, and then he will do these side-moving shots with his normal attack. And you see this bar over here, he can build it up in various ways, but the main one is to do the normal attacks, and when it's full, the skill can be tapped again to deliver a big attack on the enemy. And then when looking at the burst, his dragon companion will transform and start shooting lasers to enemies around its area. I swear to God, this character was made for me. I love everything about him. But finally, there's also Kachina, a 4-star Geopolarm unit, who can ride a Beyblade? Okay, so this device is called Turbo Twirly, which she can jump onto and ride it with her skill. And this will boost her movement speed, but in addition, she can also climb surfaces with it, so kinda like what Kirara does. However, she can also dismount it, and it will deal Geo AoE damage periodically, so basically, she can be used as off-field damage dealer by quickly mounting and dismounting it. Still, she can also just jump and smash onto ground to deal damage to enemies while riding Twirly, and in fact, if she uses her burst, she will create this field, and while riding inside it, Twirly will deal more damage in a bigger AoE, and the movement speed further increases. I mean, come on, do I really need to tell you guys that what she does here is basically conjuring up her own Beyblade arena to burst down the enemies? Still, have you noticed all three of these units have a vertical bar next to them when they're using their skill? Well, this is a unique mechanic that's getting introduced with NATLAN units, and it's called Night Soul. There's a lot of details I will cover about this Night Soul in my future video, which is coming very soon, but for now, the simplest way to describe it would be sort of like a second energy system that you will need to manage with these characters. For example, the right duration of Mualani's and Kachina's mounts depend on how much Night Soul they have left, or if it's Kinich, then he can deliver that powerful skill shot when he has achieved max Night Soul. Anyway, just wait for my new video and I'll explain everything there. Finally, let's talk about the banners quickly. In Phase 1, Mualani along with Kazuha and Kachina will be the featured characters, while in Phase 2, you'll be able to pull for Kinich and Raiden Shogun. And of course, the 5-star signature weapons will be featured alongside the new NATLAN 5-stars. Also, I think they've spoiled the featured 4-stars in Phase 1, because later on the stream, we can see Benny and Shinyan here. Okay, so not much info here, but basically, new NATLAN craftable weapons will be available. However, this time around, if you participate in some kind of a web event that will be announced soon, you can actually obtain 3 of these new craftables for free. And I think that's very useful for people who have limited time to farm the new ores. Also, 2 new artifact sets will be added in 5.0 update. One of them is called Obsidian Codex, and the other one is called Scroll of the Hero of Cinder City. I mean, they didn't officially share the info of these artifacts, at least as of making this video, but I will definitely talk about these artifacts in a future video. Probably one of the most shocking additions to quality of life, we're actually getting world level 9. You'll need to be adventure rank 58 in order to upgrade, and the devs are saying most of the enemies will become about 10 levels higher, while the drop rates will be boosted. For example, at this new world level, you can always expect to see at least 3 character level up materials to drop from a world boss, which is kinda amazing. Now, it's also been stated that these enemies specifically will provide more materials when defeated, and I don't think this applies to just world level 9, but just a straight up drop rate buff in general. But another big change that will be introduced with 5.0 is going to be the regional specialty tracking. From what I understand, you will be able to highlight areas of the materials you're looking for, and after collecting everything from that area, a new one is shown on the map. In addition, total map pins will be increased by 50, bringing total to 250. Man, it feels like yesterday when we had to play with only 99 pins. Oh, and by the way, 8 artifact sets will be added to the strong box. Some really good ones, including Deepwood, Gilded Dreams, Hunters, and Golden Troop set. bets. But you know the rules when you gamble. Expect to see loads of disappointing rolls. But on the bright side, for those of you who still keep modeling your Serenity pod, the load limit will be increased by 1.6 times, so you'll be able to place more furnishings, and the inventory limit will be increased by 200 more. Other small but nice changes include warnings before consuming special dishes, a new filter system for the food you're trying to find, and you will no longer need to deal with that stupid error message when trying to craft too many condensed resin, since only a allowed amount will be shown. Then converted excess weapon XP will be shown on the side, while forging menu will select maximum amount of ores immediately. And then for some social updates, your profile will now display how many character friendships you've maxed out and your current Abyss record. Plus, more characters can be showcased on your profile, and you'll also be able to show that unit's constellation level. Oh, and now, if you're about to undergo and play a very long quest, you will be warned about this in advance, so you can decide if you want to do it. Now, for some neutral changes, reputation quests from some regions will be removed when you hit max reputation level, and the weekly quest to do 3 requests and 3 bounties will be removed from the battle pass. Not only that, but NATLAN's weekly reputation quests will reward artifact experience potions instead of Mora. While this is a bit strange, at least there will be 3 new battle pass quests that award you for upgrading artifacts, and on top of that, the devs will send out 1 million Mora via mail system. Okay, and leaving the best for the last, finally we're getting this item called Sanctifying Essence, which allows you to craft any artifact with your choice of a main stat and 2 substats. That's right, we will be able to craft stuff with double crit values. Amazing. Now, you can obtain this Sanctifying Essence by destroying upgraded artifacts, which will contribute towards Sanctifying Essence progress, or by exploring the new NATLAN region, or from the Battle Pass, or you can just wait and obtain one of them from the Anniversary rewards that will be sent via in-game mail. Also, now we can destroy artifacts and obtain artifact XP potions instead of Mora. But yeah, a ton of changes coming with the 5.0 update, and I'm pretty excited to check out this new region. Anyway, hope you found this video useful, and I would really appreciate it if you could press the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.